Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, Chapter 8, entitled, The Lord Slays the King of the Demons, text 49 and 50. The next one is on the board, and 50 is on the board. So I'll first read text 49. Shri Prajapataya Uchu. That's not on the board, so is it? No. So I'll chant this one alone. All right, good. Praje Savayam Te Parasab Bishrista Nayena Prajavaisa Jamini Siddha Seisatvaya Bina Vaksanusete Jangan. Anyway, I mixed it up. Jangan Mangalam Satvamurti Vattara. Translation. The Prajapatis offered their prayers as follows. O Supreme Lord, Lord of even Brahma and Shiva, we, the Prajapatis, were created by you to execute your orders, but we were forbidden by Hiranyakasipu to create any more good progeny. Now the demon is lying dead before us, his chest pierced by you. Let us therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you, whose incarnation in this form of pure goodness is meant for the welfare of the entire universe. And then text 50. Shri Gandharva Uchu Vayam Vibhote Natanatya Gayaka Yenatma Sadvirya Balujasa Kritaha Sai sanito bhavata dasam imam Kimutpatasta kusalaya kalpate Shri Gandharva Ucha Vayam vibhote natanatya gayaka Yenatma sadvirya baluja sakritaha Sai sanito bhavata dasam imam Kimutpastasta kusalaya kalpate Shri Gandharva Uchu Vayam vibhote natanatya gayaka Yenatma sadvirya baluja sakritaha Sai sunicca bhavata dasham imam Said, Vayam, we, Vibho, O Lord, Te, your, Natanatya Gayaka, dancers and singers in dramatic performances. Yena, by whom? Atmasad, under subjection. Virya, of his valor. Bala, and bodily strength. Ujasa, by the influence. Krita, made. Brought, in brackets. Saha, he. Hiranyakasipu. Isaha, this. Nitaha, brought. Bhavata, by your lordship. Dasham imam, to this condition. Kim, whether. Utpatastaha, anyone who is an upstart. Kushalaya, for auspiciousness. Kalpate, is capable. Translation. The inhabitants of Gandharvaloka prayed, Your Lordship, we ever engage in your service by dancing and singing in dramatic performances. But this Hiranyakasipu, by the influence of his bodily strength and valor, brought us under his subjugation. Now he has been brought to this low condition by your Lordship. What benefit can result from the activities of such an upstart as Hiranyakasipu? Purport. By being a very obedient service of the Supreme Lord, one becomes extremely powerful in bodily strength, influence, and effulgence, whereas the fate of demoniac upstarts is ultimately to fall down like Hiranyakasipu. Hiranyakasipu and persons like him may be very powerful for some time, but the obedient servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the demigods, remain powerful always. They are victorious over the influence of Hiranyakasipu by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananana Salakaya Shakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ranganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sivisakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is dealing with the natural order that exists within the universe. And various living beings are placed within the universe according to their pious behavior or impious behavior. Srila Sanatana Goswami describes in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita how in the higher regions of the universe, he says, Brahmaloka is the residence of the sannyasis, those who have faithfully maintained the vows of sannyas may attain Brahmaloka at the end of their life. It is said that the brahmacharis, they may attain Tapaloka at the end of their life. And then there are the Mahar and Janalokas, where very pious grihastas reside. It is said in the Mahar Loka, the Prajapatis are residing. And the Prajapatis are basically absorbed in performing austerities. in order that they can qualify themselves to attain good progeny, and in this way populate the universe. So although the Prajapatis, they are engaged in sexual activity, but in a very, very pious way. Then below that are the heavenly planets, where Dharma is predominant. And in those heavenly regions, the mode of goodness is the predominant mode, and therefore within the heavenly regions, everyone is concerned with how are things done properly, according to the principles of Dharma. And subsequently, sexual activity is also enjoyed, but according to appropriate religious principles. Then we're coming down to the middle planetary systems, where the mode of passion is predominant. And that means first the tendency is there to enjoy the senses, and then philosophy, then good instruction, then Dharma comes in as an afterthought. And finally, the lower regions of the universe, where living beings are simply suffering to become purified from their previous sinful activities. So Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that one is placed in a particular situation in the universe according to how one gets involved with lust. And when lust is expressed in sinful ways, we suffer. When lust is expressed in more pious ways, we'll get pious facility. So up to the topmost, where the Prajapatis are residing in the Maharloka. But it is said that at the time of the partial dissolution of the universe, which happens at the end of every Manvantar, there is, from the mouth of Ananta says, who is at the bottom of the universe, there is heat coming up, and it touches Maharloka. Even Maharloka gets affected by that heat. But Janaloka, where sages are simply absorbed in austerity and in remembering the Supreme Lord, is not affected by that heat. So the residents of Maharloka, the Prajapatis, travel to Janaloka at that time. Anyway, that is an interesting consideration. So Hiranyakasipu was clearly not qualified to be in the higher regions of the universe. He had no business to be there. How was it possible? How was it possible that a demoniac personality even became so powerful, even though he became so powerful, how was it possible that he even attained the heavenly regions? The reason is that he performed austerity in an offering to Lord Brahma. And it was by the benediction of Lord Brahma that he was lifted above his natural position. And it was on the strength of the piety of Lord Brahma that he was enjoying a position in the heavenly regions and was able to subjugate all these celestial beings, and in this way disturb the order of the universe. However, it was certainly not possible to maintain that position. Any position of opulence in the material world is temporary. A position of opulence may be attained by demoniac personalities by performance of great austerity, but it cannot be maintained for long. The demoniac can never hold these positions for very, very long, whereas pious personalities are rewarded by the Supreme Lord, and they are given ample of opportunity and time to enjoy great material opulences, which they then can employ in proper activity, in performance of sacrifice, in performance of the glorification of the Supreme Lord. We may recall that Narada Muni in a previous life was a Gandharva who once, instead of glorifying the Supreme Lord or his representatives, sang an ordinary, mundane love song, and for that had to come down to the middle planetary systems, because that doesn't exist in the heavenly regions. So in this way, the upper regions of the universe are very different. Although we are reading that the demigods are enjoying in the heavenly gardens of Nanda Kanana, we should understand that there is so much piety in these heavenly planets, that there is constant prayer being heard, that there is constant mantra being chanted, that there is constant glorification of the Supreme Lord. In this way, there is constant connection with Vedic knowledge, constantly that is there. So very different from the middle planetary systems, which are so much covered by passion, where passion is just so predominant, and where one has to sort of, in the midst of so much madness and confusion, try and chant a Gayatri mantra, right? Or try to remember the Supreme Lord. So this order in the universe is an eternal arrangement, which is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest. Just as the universe is sometimes manifest during the day of Brahma, sometimes not manifest during the night of Brahma. But the universe, even if sometimes powerful demons can disturb that order, it will always return to the default settings. And the default settings are this order, where the demigods, the pious souls, the suras, are in that position of opulence and are worshipping the Supreme Lord, but not anyabilasita sunyam, not in the stage of being free from any other desire. Having pious desires, but having desires for enjoyment. And in that way, the Vaishnava is not interested. The Vaishnavas are interested only in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see the example of Maharaj Prithu, who along with his queen was at the end of his life taking vanaprastha, performing great austerity, focused on the Supreme Lord. And then a Vaikuntha plane took both Maharaj Prithu, and another Vaikuntha plane took his good wife, and they were going up, and the demigods were showering flowers, and the demigods were seeing how these planes were ascending into the sky, and then the demigods saw that they came from below, from the planet Earth, and then they saw that these planes went past the heavenly regions, and until they disappeared out of sight. So in this way, we understand that the path of the Vaishnava is beyond the mode of goodness. However, the mode of goodness is important. We read in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita about the Asvatthama that has the Urdha Mula and Adha Sakha, that has roots upwards and branches downwards. A tree that is upside down, and which means it is the reflection of a tree. When the tree is reflected, it will be seen like that. So this tree that represents material existence has its roots in the spiritual world. And this is the principle of pratibimba, or of reflection, that the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. And that thus we are seeing whatever is manifesting in the material world is corresponding with the spiritual world. However, when the reflection is in the mode of ignorance, We can consider it like a tree on the bank of a pond, and when there is a lot of wind, the tree is reflected, but all you see is maybe some color. You can no longer see the shape. When the wind is less, let us say the mode of passion, then some warped form can still be seen. But when there's no wind at all, then the reflection is much more close to the original. It is the same form. Although it is not the same, the reflection is never the same as the original. Say it is a mango tree, one can see the mangoes, one cannot taste the mangoes, one doesn't get the full dimension. So even the mode of goodness remains limited in its experience. But the mode of goodness is transparent. We're seeing that Vedic culture is bringing us two elements, both the mode of goodness and it brings transcendence. Part of the Vedas is Traigunya Visaya Veda, is within the three modes of material nature. So many Vedic literatures are offering us practices in the mode of goodness. And such practices in the mode of goodness are elevating. They are purifying. And they can gradually bring us to the point of approaching the Supreme Lord properly, to become a proper receptacle of the mercy. As the mercy of the Lord is incessantly raining down in various ways, through various personalities, through scriptures, through various means, that mercy will either fall upon the mode of goodness, come to persons in the mode of passion, or come to persons in the mode of ignorance. When the mercy reaches those in the mode of ignorance, they can also, when they're eager, they can also take up devotional service. They can also turn to Krishna. But it is hard for a person in the mode of ignorance to maintain the principles of devotional service. Even for one in the mode of passion, it is hard to maintain the principles of devotional service. It is a constant battle for a lifetime. Therefore, a person who is in the mode of passion would do wise to passionately engage in devotional service. With a lot of energy, with a lot of eagerness, then that passion will become purified. A person who is in the mode of goodness will naturally be inclined towards thoughtfulness, towards philosophy, towards acting according to prescribed injunctions, to take shelter of Scripture. So then it is easier when the mercy of pure devotional service comes to such a person, it's easier to maintain. Anyway, however, there is one problem. Those who are situated in the mode of goodness and have Brahminical qualities may become proud. Just like it is, even in our movement, we can see this problem. As it is said, Nasta Prayesu Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. That almost everything, almost all inauspiciousness can be destroyed from the heart by regularly hearing and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Srila Prabhupada was asked, why almost? He answered the question the question was asked on numerous occasions, and he answered it in various ways. But Srila Prabhupada said, almost all is destroyed, because when we become learned in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the risk we become proud. We become proud. And that pride will again be an obstacle for taking advantage of the mercy of the Lord and create a barrier. So sometimes those who are fallen, those who are coming from the lower modes of material nature are in a good position to maintain humility, realizing I am thoroughly fallen and I'm only here because of mercy. And that, of course, counts for most of the Kiratas, Hunandras, Pulindas, Pulkasa, the Abira, the Sambas, the Kasa, Saya, Yin, Chapapa, Yatapasraya, Sraya. That counts for all those countries in the world. The Kiratas means Africa. The Hunas means the Germans, East Germany. The Pulindas means the Greeks, the Italians, the Spanish, all the Mediterraneans. Pulinda, Pulkasa, the Khasas, all the Chinese races. The Andhras, I forgot, in South India somewhere. So all these are races that have taken shelter of sinful activity. That means that are thoroughly affected by the modes of ignorance and passion. Of course, even in pious places in the age of Kali, they are very eager to import sinfulness in any possible way they can, right? And Prabhupada would sometimes say, old crows and new crows, and that the old crows eat garbage, but when the new crows come and start to eat garbage, they eat it with great gusto, with like great eagerness. So, whatever may be, in this way we can appreciate that it's not so simple. Somehow or other, this movement is extremely powerful. It is extremely powerful, and therefore even those who have taken shelter of sin can become purified and transformed. And that is really what is happening. Prabhupada said that this movement can turn crows into swans, and which I listened to this lecture 100 times or more, and at the end the children are also calling out, Jai, and everyone can see that this is a wonderful thing. How can crows be turned into swans? How can we be here in this transcendental abode, in this place which is meant for those who are great devotees of the Lord, not for ordinary people? How can common men come here other than by great mercy? So in this way, it is essential. It is essential to remember that we are recipients of great mercy, that we have been elevated beyond what we deserve, that somehow or other, keeping that in mind, we may continue. And being always eager then to take shelter again and again until the last moment of our life. We are never safe. There is no question. Now I'm safe from Maya. Maybe great personalities like Srila Prabhupada could not be affected by Maya. But we should not think that ever we are in that stage. And we're seeing that even great Mahabhagavats are seeing themselves as very fallen. We're seeing how Srila Prabhupada also on many occasions was having a very humble vision of himself. Like when asked how many disciples, he said, I don't have any disciples. Krishna sent me many spiritual masters. Right? How could he see? How could he see it like that? Could that be real? Could he really see it like that? But why not? When we appreciate that everyone is unique and that everyone has unique qualities by which they serve Krishna. And we see how someone else is serving Krishna. Oh, I could also do that. In this way, one can learn from anyone. And we see, the other day, we were visiting Madhuvan and went to Dhruvatila, the place where Dhruva Maharaj was sent by Narada Muni to perform his austerities and perform his Astanga Yoga, to make a deity of clay and worship the deity, and to chant the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Dhruva Maharaj, he was just being elevated by that mercy, and it somehow or other, he was not coming with proper motivation. He was not actually approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the right intentions. But nonetheless, the process was so powerful that ultimately it attracted the mercy of the Lord. And then by the mercy of the Lord, the final adjustments were made. And Dhruva Maharaj was becoming perfectly pure. So we could appreciate how we also did not come with proper motivations, with pure desires, but somehow or other, by the process, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who added mercy to this process, by the mercy of all the acharyas, and finally by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who especially adjusted things for us and prayed for us, prayed for the Lord to uphold these adjustments. Only 16 rounds, only. And that in this way, we are suddenly in the most exalted position, in a position which even the demigods cannot attain, although they are so much greater than we are. So this is the potency of mercy, that mercy can elevate us to the topmost position, and that is what is transpiring, and that is amazing. Amazing. And all it takes is to somehow or other keep our heads low. Manmana bhavamat bhakto majajimam namaskaru. To bow down at the feet of the Lord and at the feet of the spiritual master. To keep our head low is not a type of gymnastics. It is not an external thing. It is not just about putting the head on the ground. It is not that we're just bowing the body. We're meant to bow our will and to give up our independence and to just for once give up our stubbornness, and for once just do it the way that Prabhupada wanted us to do it. And if we do so, even if we don't do it perfectly, as long as we are eagerly trying, then somehow or other, mercy, Prabhupada's mercy, the mercy of all the acharyas, the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mercy of Krishna, will all make up for our shortfall. And in this way, we are here. It is interesting that when Sanatana Goswami and Haridas Thakur were in Jagannath Puri, they met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates were sitting on a raised platform in an assembly. And they invited Sanatana Goswami and Haridas to sit with them. But Haridas and Sanatana Goswami did not do so because they never forgot where they came from. They did not forget that they came from a fallen position. Although Sanatana Goswami was from a aristocratic Saraswat Brahmana family. He had become fallen by engaging in the service of Mohammedans. He never forgot, Haridas never forgot his Mohammedan birth. So, who has no skeletons in the closet? Who can say that he came from a wonderful background? I don't know who could say it. Maybe some can say, we bow at your feet. But I cannot say. I can definitely not say. So we cannot forget. We cannot forget. So that we will not again become distracted by such foolishness. Just ksurashya dara, the razor's edge. When one is shaving and one is inattentive, cut. So spiritual life means to not forget, to be attentive, and about taking shelter and coming from where we came from. We need to be very serious about taking shelter so that we remain strong throughout this lifetime on the spiritual path, and then pass by the heavenly regions to the spiritual world and continue our service there eternally. Thank you very much. Any questions? Any comments? I think you're getting a microphone usually? Yeah.
Where does Indraloka fit in between the Janaloka and Tapaloka?
Just below. So the heavenly regions, where Indra's capital is Swarg, which is just situated below the Maharjana and Tapalokas. Yeah. I couldn't hear. Oh. Oh, are you planning on going? Yeah, it's risky business. Some might be planning to go, but I tell you, it's dangerous. We might get stuck. We might get tempted. We might be very renounced in this world, but there we may find we're not so renounced after all. So no, I don't want to go there. Better here I can be renounced. Too much suffering. It's easy.
I was just wondering about this, how the asuras, they become so powerful, they're in prominent positions in the universe, but then the Lord rectifies it. It's just the default mechanism of the universe that the asuras get put back into position. So I was just thinking about our planet, and there's many devotees on this planet also, but the asuras are in power, so how will the Lord rectify it, or how the natural
When we are reading the Ramayana, right, then you read about how Ravana is flying in the sky. He has just stolen the Pushpaka plane from his brother, and he's accompanied by all these demons, and they're all riding in the sky on different animals, and they are just defiling yagyas. They're coming down, they're feasting on the flesh of sages and all this stuff. They are powerful. They're powerful demons. The demons of today are not very powerful. So therefore, it's not even required, that they need to be rectified by some special arrangement of the Lord. Just the regular material energy is enough to crush them, right? Simply like that. We live so short. This planet is called Mrityu Loka, right? The planet of death. And from the perspective of the higher planetary systems, when they look down here, they look upon us like, my God, these creatures, they live so short, And we make such a big thing about it, I'm so big, I have all these things, this, that. So short. That's like almost finished. And it's getting shorter every day. We're bringing it upon ourselves. We poison the air, we poison the water, we poison our food, we take drugs. We're just making sure we shorten our duration of life. I used to wonder, how is it that at the end of the age of Kali, people will live only 25 years? But nowadays, it's not hard to imagine. I mean, is this going to be at the end of Kali, or is it coming soon? 25 years, the way we're going. So, demons come up and they're already dead and gone before you know it in this age. So the Lord rectifies, sometimes directly, sometimes through His material energy and His agents. But every single one gets rectified. There's no doubt about it. Oh. And how it will happen, we will see. Whether the oceans will really rise 20 meters, I'm Dutch, we're watching these things. What can I say? Or whether something else will happen. We will see, whether it's nature, whether it's wars, or a combination of all these things. Very quickly, the demoniac things in this world will be destroyed. It is said that a diamond looks very nicely on a black background. Therefore, it is said that the golden avatar looks very beautiful on the black background of Kali Yuga. So we care more about the foreground, Lord Chaitanya. Okay, the last one.
So we're speaking about how different modes, they predominate different parts of the universe. So I'm wondering, those in the mode of ignorance, they can engage in devotional service?
Yeah. The question is, if people in the mode of ignorance can engage in devotional service. Yes, anyone can engage in devotional service. And devotional service is so powerful that even those who are in ignorance, they can even continue in devotional service. Like in Amsterdam, when Prabhupada was in the Vondelpark, all the hippies were there and everyone was stoned and they thought it was far out. And Prabhupada said, for these people, no philosophy, just kirtan and prasadam. They're too far gone, right? And I was there also. Somehow or other, now I'm in Vrindavan. So, yes, it's possible to take up Krishna consciousness from the mode of ignorance. It can be done. This movement is the very proof of it. Right? Think about it in the morning when you brush your teeth. Shaving. Think about it. It's possible to come to Krishna consciousness from the mode of ignorance. And to stay in Krishna consciousness. That's how powerful Krishna consciousness is. Okay, I thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.